From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening on Evenings LALATE as Democrat after Democrat tells viewers of this channel they're going to be giving you a monthly fourth stimulus check under the fourth stimulus recon. In this big fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we go over all the incredible comments from nearly half a dozen Democratic senators. We'll have everything that's happening across the board as Jalopal and also AOC saying they're going to be doing it in the recon. We'll go over all the big money. Then we cut to the first 645 pages of this reconciliation budget bill. My goodness, it's deliciousness. We'll go over all the checks in there, including checks for hazard pay, checks for workers, checks for vehicles, and even checks for seniors. It's a big day. And then we go into cluster number 2. More checks, nearly 12 of them, including checks to fix your home. Then we cut to the big exciting details of cluster number 3. The checks the president wants in there, and he's getting them in there. Then you're going to see world exclusives only on this channel that goes over what is happening on the vote. And then the big exciting details, of course, of another $13 billion coming out to your cities and counties and states for rent under third stimulus. Boy, it's a big evening with world exclusive. You're only going to hear about fourth stimulus. It's big night. And with that, I am so excited you're joining me, and Evenings LA starts right now. Everybody, it's a beautiful day here in Santa Monica, California tonight. I'm so excited you're joining me, and we have big world exclusives as Democrat after Democrat tells a viewer of this channel they're doing a monthly stimulus check. We have the number of months, we have the amount of checks, because viewers have been advocating, and you should as well. Coon, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden confirm it to this channel, and also AOC and Jalopal for the first time on Evenings LA. It's a big night, and I'm so excited for you to join me because the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill released, and it's deliciousness. Hazard pay in there, money for fixing up the home, bikes, cars, vehicles, and more. Then we cut to cluster number 2. More checks for the American people, including checks for things like education. Checks for items across the board as we go into the third cluster, checks for seniors, checks for workers, and checks for free internet. My goodness, can we top that? Yes. As an additional $107 billion identified by this channel will be now allocated towards you. Oh my goodness. And an additional $13 billion landing in your cities, counties, and states for you right now for rent and utilities. It's a huge night with a lot of money, and let's get to it. And this is Evenings LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Thank you for all the incredible viewership in the last 7 days, our biggest 7 days of this channel in nearly 3 months. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Meantime, coming up next is shows every hour on the hour all night long at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30. Let's get into the big news starting right now with the world exclusive as Democrat after Democrat tell viewers of this channel they're doing an MSC. It started 8 weeks ago with Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, telling WR, a longtime viewer of this channel, his staff telling WR he's doing a monthly stimulus check. WR advocating vigorously for that monthly stimulus check. Then 3 weeks ago, Brother Joshua, 2020 volunteer to the community page, advocating vigorously for it to Senator Bernie Sanders' staff. And the staffer tells Brother Joshua he's doing it. Monthly, $1,000 to $1,400, 3 to 6 months. And then the floodgates open as Donnie picked up the phone and called and advocated like someone should. Incredible advocacy, saying, I need it. And Bernie Sanders' office saying, we'll be giving it. Then Hurricane Tina advocating vigorously. Bernie Sanders' office confirming they're doing it monthly. Then came the big item from Lorica, getting a message from Casey's office that they're not only doing it, they're negotiating the deal terms right now. Then Paul showing us why advocacy is so important, because Paul didn't call one office, he called 3. He called he called multiple offices, and I'll have all those details in a second. But boy, here comes the incredible update from Janice calling Jalapal's office, and Jalapal saying, yes, she's going to do it. And boy, the details keep on coming on in. Tonight on Evenings LALATE, Jalapal's office confirming an MSC, AOC's office confirming an MSC, and Will getting confirmation from Bernie, Warren, and Schumer's office. And when he spoke to Elizabeth Warren, this is what her staff said, that the Senator Warren is considering $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. My goodness. Will picked up the phone and called 3 offices. I called Bernie, Warren, and Schumer's, and all 3 of the secretaries confirmed they're doing a forced stimulus check. And I explained my situation and how a forced stimulus check would make such a huge impact. And I was told, yes, it's happening. Elizabeth Warren's office asked me what kind of check I would like and it's sufficient. And I said the American petition, which is $2,000 a month. And they said they're on board with it. And they said Senator Warren is considering $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. There you go. World exclusives. You're only here on this channel. But let's cut to the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill right now. Wow, this is huge. The first 600 pages of what could be upwards of an 8,000-page bill released to the American people, and they're just checks of all magnitude in there. Now, what's important to understand is that the reconciliation budget bill is checks for the American people that are not COVID related. So they can be for any circumstance across the board. Let's go over broadly what they are and then the specifics. Hazard pay, checks for seniors, checks for children, the $51,000 of MSCs over 18 years, checks for bikes, checks for cars, checks for trucks, checks for your home, and checks for education. Let's go over each of them one at a time. Hazard pay. Wow. In 2020, this channel recorded nearly 300 hazard pay videos, the biggest advocacy online for hazard pay, and it got into third stimulus. What did they do? They took an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit and broadened it so more people who are essential workers would qualify. Then they increased the amount of money. But third stimulus was temporary, so now under fourth stimulus, they're making it lifetime. This is huge. So if you're an essential worker and you continue to work in that workplace environment every year after the year, and you remain eligible, you would get this Earned Income Tax Credit. Then the big shocker, $4,000 a year if you care for an elderly. This is big. Representative Richard Neal surprised us all by putting this into the recon. It's huge. Up to $4,000 if you care for the elderly per year. On the flip side, up to $4,000 a year if you care for a young adult. My goodness. What about money for students? Yes, new college grants directly to the student or to the university, then to the student, and then the Pell's grant being made tax-free. What about the home? Well, they're going to be giving new grants to fix a home if it is in a low-income-based community. When I say grants, it means it's free money and you don't have to pay it back. Wow. How about $51,000 of MSCs? Oh my goodness. Over 18 years, $51,000 of monthly checks. This is the child's money. Third stimulus introduced it to it and now will be lifetime. If you're a parent of a child just newly born and you're in a low-income household and you remain a low-income household over the next 18 years, then you would get up to $300 a month every month that you're qualified, every year for up to 18 years, and that's $51,000. My goodness. Then we cut to the other sums of money, which are just incredible. There is money for bikes, cars, and trucks. Electric bike, if you need to want to buy an electric bike, the federal government will pick up the price tag for 15% of that electric bike. Then if you want to buy a new electric car, the federal government will provide up to $7,500 for you to buy a new electric car from the number 3 U.S. auto manufacturers. That is for personal use. What about business use? A little bit more. And then if you want to buy a truck, electric truck for business use, a little bit more than that. Wow. There you go. But that's only the first 645 pages of a nearly 8,000 potential page bill. I'm going to go over the second cluster of checks in just a second, and there's 12 of them, including up to $1,700 a week if you have to stay home from work. Wow. Then I'm going to go to the third cluster in a second after that, which has checks for seniors, workers, SSI, and SSDI. Oh my goodness, big sums of money. But first, how did we get to these 645 pages, and what do they represent? What they represent is the following. the Democrat caucus meeting behind closed doors in their offices on their phone and negotiating. This is the House Democrats and the Senate Democrats saying, hey, what do you think about the up to $4,000 to care for the elderly? I like that. Go write it up. What do you think about the 15% for the bike? 15%? Yeah, go write it up. And once they agreed upon it, they wrote it up. The first 645 pages were easy for them to agree upon it. These are the ones they wrote up. Cluster number 2 and cluster number 3 are checks they want to do. They're just still negotiating the amounts and the provisions. And in the third cluster, you're going to see from this channel how I, in a world exclusive, I identified an additional $107 billion, $107 billion that will be available for you because of a breaking news development last night. Oh my goodness. But let's turn over to the third stimulus because this is a big surprise that no one saw coming. Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, made the announcement late last week that an additional $13 billion for a third stimulus is being sent out for you for rent and utilities to every single state and county and city. This is huge. If you've been with the channel for the last few months and you reached out to your local government and they said, sorry, we're out of money, guess what? No longer the case. The federal government has dedicated the final $13 billion, a third stimulus for rent, utility, and mortgage assistance to your local government. The Treasury is happy to provide these state and local government programs with additional resources to support Americans in need of rental assistance. Total price tag of the third recon was $47 billion for rent, but they still had this last $13 billion out. And later in this video, I'm going to go over how you can get more money for rent, utilities, food, SNAP. It's exciting. But time for some more checks. Let's cut back to fourth stimulus. And let's go to the second cluster of checks. It's a lot. It's 12 of them, and they are huge paying checks. The first one is checks for expansion of paid leave and family and medical leave. What is this? Paid family leave is if your spouse is pregnant. Paid medical leave is if your child broke their leg. How much would this pay? A lot. Under the third stimulus. It was proposed to do this at $1,700 a week if you make over $70,000 a year. So let's split that in half. If you make $35,000, then you get $800 a week. Let's split it in half again. If you make $15,000 a year, then you would get $400 a week. This is huge, and this is absolutely delicious. Then cluster number 2, child care programs, more checks for that. Then extension of the household tax credit. Then Medicare benefits to include dental checks, vision checks, hearing checks, and lowering the Medicare eligibility age. More about that in cluster number 3. And then checks to weatherize your home. Very helpful, especially when the Purple Hawks are up above. Weatherizing your home. Well, what does that mean? Like, for example, you have a hurricane or tornado in your area frequently, or you're in a flood zone or a fire zone, that weatherization will come in handy. That is the second set of checks for your home so far in this recording. Then checks for affordable care subsidies. Then come 2 sets of checks for education. Free pre-kindergarten for everyone. Then tuition-free community college. This is huge because there's always someone that watches me say, I don't understand what he's saying. Can someone translate him on Google Translate for me? I just don't understand it. So now you can take the class at your local community college called What the World is LA Saying? 101. Sorry, my French. There you go. And then checks for green energy. My goodness, it gets better and bolder every minute. I'm going to cut to the third cluster of checks in just a second. But where is the House? Where is the Senate? Well, the House is now back in session. The House went back into session today. The Senate was already in session. But if you've been a viewer of this channel from the very beginning, you know the word in session means nothing to the equation. They were already in town, and they're already negotiating. How do they negotiate? Senators and Democrats, Senate and House Democrats, pick up the phone, go and have a cup of coffee, walk down the hall. They're not on the floor. They're on the House floor. They're not on the Senate floor. They're not on the dance floor. They're not on the TV. They're not on C-SPAN. They're not on TikTok. They are literally on the phone saying, what do you think about this? I like it. And that is why they're getting this done. Cluster number 3. I have a world exclusive you're only hearing on this channel about cluster number 3, and then 2 of the checks are automatic. My goodness, let's get to it right now. Cluster number 3, here we go. Checks, free school meals for all checks. Cheaper prescription medication checks. Checks for free internet. Checks for farmers. Checks for clean energy. Checks for workers like independent contractors. Checks for seniors like lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. Checks for dental. Checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. What's the world exclusive? I have found an additional $107 billion that will be allocated to you because it won't be going somewhere else. How do I know this? Last night, in a buried article, it was revealed that one of the checks in the third cluster, which doesn't concern you, and that's why I never record about it, was ruled cannot be in the recon by the Senate parliamentarian. So I immediately went to my notes to see how much that price tag of that item was. It's $107 billion, which means that now $107 billion can be allocated to you for these other checks that are about you, and this is great news. Then two of those checks in this third cluster are automatic, and both are checks the president wants you to see the money in your wallet instantly. The first one is cheaper prescription medication. He would absolutely save money in your wallet overnight. This is how he envisions it. You would go into a pharmacy and let's say you're paying for a prescription on a Monday at $40. This bill becomes law later that week, for example. Then the next time you go to fill the prescription, you see it slashed in price. Let's say you only pay $20, an immediate savings of an extra $20 bill in your wallet. How about the free internet? That's also automatic, and that would be instant as well. So the federal government give fortunes to cities and counties and states so they can run their own internet company and then provide it to you for free. So all you have to say is, hi, here I am. They'll provide you the username and password for the Wi-Fi connection. Wow. Incredible, great news. Now, what's important to understand is that there may be a lot of other clusters. And these aren't all the checks. These are just the checks they've been talking about. As Richard Neal surprised us with that $4,000 check for caring for the elderly, we may get surprised by a lot of other things. But in the second half of this recording, we're going to go over the world exclusive as Coons, Casey, Warren, Sanders, Schumer on the Senate side, and AOC and Omar and Jalapal on the House side all have staff telling viewers this channel monthly stimulus checks are going in their IRS MSCs. I'll go over all their comments and all the details and what you have been doing because it's all about advocating. The importance of advocacy starts right here on this channel. Then we'll be cutting to third stimulus because big sums of money are coming right this week to you in third stimulus. And then I'll be cutting back to fifth stimulus and a brief update about what happened in the meltdown of the financial markets today. I know you want to know. That's coming up in just 15 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA, direct from Santa Monica, California, with huge update as more Democratic leaders come out and say they're doing it. I'll have all the updates direct from the viewer themselves and what they have been told across the board, whether it is the House or the Senate. That deliciousness heats up in the second half of this recording. Then we'll be cutting to third stimulus that has an additional $13 billion coming out from the federal government. I'll show you how to get these big sums of money across the board as well. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which heats up in just a few days and goes out for a vote later this year. It's a big payout across the board. And then my take on the financial markets meltdown today. I'll explain to you what happened, and then I have a world exclusive of what's happening next with the House and the Senate on the vote. It's a big evenings, and this is Evenings LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Thank you for making the last 7 days one of our biggest 7 days in nearly 3 months. Be part of this incredible family by subscribing right today. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. The link is under the video and also in the pinned comment. And also, sign up for those LA alerts so you do not miss a new video when something happens or breaking news. Well, what a day it was with the excitement of what's happening with that third stimulus money. An additional cash infusion of $13 billion is landing in your cities, counties, and states this week. This is huge. This is rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance, and more. And it starts with the following. Let's go over the numbers. Rent on this channel was paying viewers $20,000  4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. Now viewers are getting $40,000. The number has gone from $20,000 to $40,000. Let's look and see what Purple Hawks, have you become a member? The link's under the video. Let's see what Purple Hawks were doing just a month ago. $20,000 to $27,000. Well, late last week, Jen got over nearly $40,000 for rent, and the numbers are coming in from a lot of viewers at the $30,000 to $40,000 range. When we look at utilities, Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 from this channel, raising the numbers even higher, almost 300% growth in less than a month. When we talk about Snap, you're going to meet someone in a second who got $21,000, and now it's going to be worth $26,000. It's Mark's brother-in-law. And that is a massive lift from just a month ago. And while we thought that Mark's numbers of $51,000 or Johnny's numbers of $80,000 or Lorraine's numbers of $100,000 were big, guess what? The numbers are getting bigger and bolder. Your day to get the money right now. Get that pen, paper, and cell phone ready. I'm going to go over all the details with you first. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. If all 6 say no, then if one says no, reach out to the other one. They have different eligibility, have different pots of money, and you do not have to be behind on your rent. Number 2, listen to the keywords I say in this video. And then finally, I have some surprises for you. All right, here are the 6 places you reach out to. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords I can say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Let's go over the 6 places again. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Now, this is the equation. You may have reached out to all 6 of them, maybe last month, maybe last week, maybe 3 months ago. And they said, sorry, we're out of money. Every single county, city, and state will have money as early as this week. That $13 billion is landing out, and they're sending it out right away. So there will be a new slosh of money. It's sort of like what happened to Kevin Lee in last year. In the middle of the pandemic, he lives in Dallas. He found some money in the city of Dallas for rent. He reached out. Within 3 days, the money was gone. He got it because he reached out instantly. So contact those numbers you have in your phone that you contacted before, if you did, and say, hey, I want to be on the waiting list when it comes in. Or can you call me when the money comes in? Next, reach out to all your utility companies. So if you have 5, reach out to all 5. Utility assistance because of COVID. Remember to use those keywords. Then, a big surprise, the nonprofits. The nonprofits were covered extensively on this channel in fall of 2020 and early 2021 for the ability to pay for money for rent, utility, food, internet, homelessness, getting them into shelters, money for food and families, even sometimes repairs and appliances. Well, I didn't know if they were still paying. And so I brought them back in the mix of coverage on this channel about 4 days ago, and they have been a big success. They have been such a big success, they're now featured in tonight's newsletter for the Purple Hawks. I'm featuring them and the $13 billion. Here are the 5 nonprofits to reach out to. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. That's United Way, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, and Salvation Army. What has been the success stories? Well, one viewer said within 24 hours of me bringing them back in the mix, that viewer was first in line to get money for rent from United Way, telling the viewers that no one else reportedly had been calling United Way. And they said, you're the first person on the call asking for rent in a very long time. Then another viewer with an unnamed, with a charity I won't say on camera, said that charity gave her a brand new refrigerator and brand new furnace and fixed her window. My goodness. So consider becoming a Purple Hawk. The link is in this video below here, because when you become a member, Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP, you get delivered daily from me to you a breakdown of all this big money under first, second, and third stimulus. Let's go to the next pot of money. It's the money for SNAP. You get it from Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? A lot. Mark's brother-in-law getting $21,000 a year, but now he's sitting on top of $26,000. What happened? Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits up, an average of 15% lifetime automatically starting in October. This is huge, and this is nationwide, but it has caused some confusion because some people are getting the letter that says their prior lift up, which was due to the 2 executive orders, is ending, and they think that's their new future. No. You're going to get another letter that says your benefits are going up an average of 25%, and there should be no lapse between the prior lift up and the new lift up. Next, some unemployment benefits. Yes, if you were overpaid unemployment benefits due to your state due to computer error, it's landing that refund check. Average payment is about $3,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state for tracking time, and then finally the refund check from IRS where you paid taxes on the 2020 unemployment benefits. It's coming back. Average payout is anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 for viewers of this channel. Go to irs.gov to do tracking search. Margaret got it, Ka got it, Michael got it. And yes, if you're in the live chat and you got this, post it. Meantime, if you got rent, utilities, food, internet, any of these items, post it in the live chat. Because when you do, you inspire other people to pick up the phone and call. It's important to understand that I launched membership of this channel in January when I said to viewers, there's a lot of other money to get besides a $1,400 stimulus check. And after Mark got $51,000, after his neighbor got over $40,000, after Jen got $40,000, after Johnny got $80,000, after Mark's brother-in-law looks like he got almost $60,000, as Lorraine got $100,000, the numbers kept on going bigger and bolder. People now realize these are big sums of money. But one thing I want you to realize, I'm saying for the first time on Evenings at LALATE, is that if you've gotten rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or any of these numbers before on this channel, I want you to go back and get another pot of money because I want you to extend it as far as you can into next year. And if you got it from one place and you think they don't have any more money, go to another place and get it from another place. And there you go. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video with the big exciting details of that forced stimulus recon. My goodness, I'm really excited for you. And the excitement started 8 weeks ago. The excitement started 8 weeks ago when a lot of people were just naysayers saying maybe there is no forced stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. I said you need to advocate. Advocate. Say this is why I need it. My community needs it. My church needs it. My family needs it. I need to tell you why. And WR was one of the very few viewers 8 weeks ago who listened to my message. He picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, and advocated for one. Said, I need to tell you why I need it. My family needs it. My community needs it. I need to tell you why. And Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, his staffer said, yes, we're putting it a monthly stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. World exclusive right there. 3 weeks ago, it changed because of a wonderful, surprising development. I had been telling viewers that the $3.5 trillion price tag was achieved by Bernie Sanders. He was the negotiator who got that price tag among the Democrats. And while we look at the 645 pages of the reconciliation bill released and written by the House Democrats, there's a Senate Budget Committee, and Bernie's the chairman of it. He's very important, and 3 weeks ago, he told broadcast media, unlike prior D.C. budget chairman, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm working on a recon. What does that mean? I said translation. He wants you to hear that he wants to hear from you advocating for what to put in a budget bill. I said that's your call to action, to pick up the phone and advocate. And Lingland did, Margaret did, and Brother Joshua advocated at the time. Let's go over what advocacy of a stimulus check looks like. This is the conversation. I need a stimulus check because of this, because of what happened to my family. I need it because of what's going on with my community, because of my church, because of my town, because of my business. The town's been ravaged because of the pandemic. Half of the businesses have not reopened. My church, parishioners aren't showing up. My family, this is what happened with my sister and my uncle and my brother. You need to advocate so that they get off the phone and they say, wow. Remember, they can't see you. They may never have gone to your town. They may not even don't know anything about your town, but they can feel emotions. And if you deliver emotions that indicate how important it is for you to have that check, they can feel it, so they get off the phone and say, wow, that's what Brother Joshua did. Remember, they were elected as officials to advocate for stimulus. And if you bring that advocacy to them, it's a match made in heaven. Now, on the other side of the equation, this is not advocacy. Treating the person on the phone that you call like the UPS tracking tool or the FedEx tracking tool. When? Where? Is it? Am I going to get it? Am I not? When? Where? How? They don't want to sit there and answer questions and be interrogated. They are there to help people, to impassion and to fight for things. And if they hear you calling up and advocating for something, I need it for my family, my church, that's what they resonate to. And that's what Brother Joshua did. He picked up the phone. He called Bernie Sanders' office when I said pick up the phone 3 weeks ago and advocated for one for himself, his church, and his family. And Brother Joshua, 2020 volunteer to the community page and longtime viewer and Purple Hawk, got the confirmation. Yes, Senator Bernie Sanders is putting a monthly stimulus check in there. There you go. There you go. That's what advocacy gets. $1,000 to $1,400 said it during the conversation. 3 to 6 months. But Bernie Sanders needs to know that he has your support. I said, Purple Power, then we got this one. Pick up the phone and advocate. Call and advocate. And that is what Donnie did. And suddenly the floodgates started. Donnie picked up the phone and advocated and said, I need it. I need to tell you why I need it. Let's read what Donnie wrote in his incredible remarks. Donnie said, I called and I said, I need it. This is why I need it. My city needs it. I need it to progress. I need it for my water. I need it for everything. I called Bernie Sanders' secretary and told her that. And she said, okay, they're doing a fourth. Hurricane Tina, always in the live chats, wonderful viewer, said, I called Bernie Sanders' office. I got through and I said, and they said they're putting a fourth stimulus check in there. And then Carolyn, on Morning's Countdown, our 7 a.m. show, really advocated big, bold, and beautifully. I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to his secretary, told her we need help. We need to be helped out here, people. People are losing their homes, and they're losing what they got. And she said she agrees. Bernie's putting a stimmy check in there. Then Yaya picked up the phone and called Ronald Wyden's office, advocated for that as well, and got that pushed back as well. Then comes Lori Silver. I called Bernie Sanders' office yesterday, got a big Purple Power push for the people, getting help. And according to them, they're working on getting us what we need. Yaya and Wyden's office. And then comes the incredible comment from Will. Will showed us you don't just call one place. You don't just make one phone call and call it a day. He called 3. And boy, did Will advocate. I spent yesterday calling around, says Will, and I called Senator Bernie Sanders. I called Elizabeth Warren. I called Chuck Schumer. And all 3 offices confirmed, their secretaries confirmed, there's a fourth stimulus check. I explained my situation, how a fourth stimulus check would make a huge impact for me. And I was told, yes, it's happening. Elizabeth Warren's office asked me what kind of check would be sufficient. And I explained that I like the American petition. Will knows that's $2,000 a month. And they said they are on board with that. They said Senator Warren is considering $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. There you go. And when I first said that on air, Bonnie said I almost choked on my dinner. I was so excited. Bonnie, don't choke. Then comes Lorica. Boy, she's a wonderful viewer, Lorica. She called up Senator Casey's office. He's on the committee for aging. I push for a lot of money for the elderly and disabled. And the girl I talked to, she said, they're in negotiations right now, the senators, on the amount of the stimulus checks. My goodness. It was over the weekend I said, okay, so we got the senators clearly pushing Warren, Sanders, Wyden, and Schumer. I said, pick up the phone and also call the House Democrats, AOC, Omar, Jalapal. If you've called Omar, send me a private message because I want to see that as well. Because so far I haven't seen anyone call Omar. But boy, the messages started coming in. Here's Paul's incredible message to about AOC. Paul called AOC's office, spoke to a representative, and I told her, her secretary, I told her that I needed. And according to the secretary, the Congresswoman, AOC, wants to add monthly stimulus checks in the $3.5 trillion bill. AOC wants it to be $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 12 months. AOC assured me they're adding it, the secretary assured me they're adding it to the bill. Take care. Wow. And then Janice. Oh boy, Janice listened and she called Jalapal and every other congressperson she could. And Jalapal's office said yes. And there you go, Purple Power. Coons office confirming to WR. Sanders confirming to Brother Joshua. Warren, Schumer to Will. Casey to Lorica. Wyden to Yaya. AOC to Paul and Jalapal to Janice. But we're not down there with the world exclusives. Here we go, some more. I had told you over the last 2-3 months that I thought that the House bill would be written, that the bill would be written by the House side, not the Senate side. And when it was released last week, we got the confirmation, yes. The 645 pages written by the House side, the whole recon will be written by the House side. I've also been reporting that I believe that the House will vote first. This is important for many reasons. And now I'm staying with that world exclusive because guess what? A lot of broadcast media are now confirming my reporting. They're saying that may indicate that it is starting on the House side, saying that I'm right again. Why is the House going first in the voting so helpful for you? Number one, if Jalapal and AOC go first on the House side with that vote and they get what they want in there, we're done. We don't have to worry about the senators fixing anything because the House will have done it right. It's also really helpful because you want the senators to vote last during the 2-day vote-a-rama. During that 2-day vote-a-rama, the senators have the ability to modify anything given to them from the House, and you have the incredible details of those senators wanting to add or beef up a number. The senator's not going to remove anything that a House member does. They're just going to beef it up or add something in there. And that's why it's great to have Schumer, Sanders, Warren, Wyden, last in the voting because they can add things in there as well. Let's cut shortly over to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or Railroad benefits. They start drafting in September out for a vote about December. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. If that new benchmark is inflation, you're going up more. I've been saying about 5% inflation. Let's do that analysis. First, you'll go up with that one-time lift, and then they'll apply a new benchmark. If it's 5%, you'll go up another 5%, not just next year, but a lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also have $3,000 in hand. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear loss of benefits. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear the loss of benefits. Finally, will there be a fifth stimulus check? There will be, says the House and Democrats. And lastly, if you haven't become a Purple Hawk member, Purple Power Calcino VIP, do so. The new newsletter coming out tonight, comes out daily, will be modified to include now the nonprofits, because the nonprofits, those 5 of them, are now paying for money as well. It'll also include details about that $13 billion from IRS, because that's huge. You want to know exactly what it is. So when you pick up the phone and call and say, hey, have you gotten that money? You know exactly what to describe to them. If they say, no, I haven't gotten it, I didn't know it's coming. Incredible details. And with that, let's recap the 3 items. Third, fifth, and fourth stimulus. Fifth stimulus out for a vote about November to raise your benefits thereafter and then next year. Third, already law, but an additional $13 billion of cash infusion coming out right now. And that could be more money for you for rent, utilities, mortgages, and SNAP. I want you to get all this money, take it as far into the future as you can, and consider the nonprofits as well. And finally, fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus really, really getting good. Advocacy is the core of this channel. Advocating, saying why you need something, pushing and saying, this is my situation. This is what happens when the Democrats hear you're pushing. Potential conversation would be something like this. Hey, Bernie, this is Liz Warren. Oh, hey, Liz. I just get a lot of phone calls, and people have been have advocated very strongly and very impassioned about the need for that stimulus check. I've got to the same phone calls, Liz. This is Bernie. I got the same phone calls. Everyone's talking about these phone calls. Everyone really wants this. We got to do this because these messages are absolutely incredible. They talk, they hear each other, so make sure the message is loud and clear. Meantime, what happened on Wall Street today? What happened in the financial markets? The financial markets today unraveled after a series of major world events happened at the same time. Ironically, if you watch the crypto programming on this channel, I had predicted a lot of these things to happen. So number one, September is usually a down month. September is usually a down trading month historically. But I told viewers on the crypto show about a week ago that there was a major real estate developing company, the number one practically in China, that was likely to default. And that default, they confirmed about a week ago. The news of it really hit today with indication that they may not meet their obligations. There's next concerns about the Federal Reserve's meeting on Capitol Hill this week because there's concerns that they may tighten a little bit sooner than thought. And then finally, it was really sort of a compounding of an op-ed by Janet Yellen in the Washington Post talking about one of the important things of doing money that may have sort of compounded things on top of things. Very fascinating. I will be watching more about it, and I'll be featuring more about what happened in this financial market meltdown today, with most stocks down about 4%. The market's down about upwards of 900 points at one point, coming back to about 700 points. I'll be featuring the market meltdown on the Overnight's Crypto Show coming up next. Meantime, yes, we have shows every hour on the hour for the rest of the night. A show at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30. So I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for all the incredible love, and thank you for Purple Power for keeping this community where news is accurate and fake narrative goes elsewhere. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.